Hello and welcome to the Lynn Lowdown. I'm Danny Vittori, and today we have on two members from the Food Project. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Now, quick, before we start, do you both mind introducing yourselves and your positions in the organization?
Sure, yeah, thank you. I'm Rachel Frazee. I am the Community Programs Manager here on the North Shore for the Food Project.
My name's Ludia Modi. I'm the North Shore Regional Director for the Food Project.
Great, fantastic. And the first thing I'll ask is, would you mind just giving a quick little history on the Food Project in case anyone doesn't know that much about it?
Yeah, so the Food Project is a 30-year-old organization. We started back in the 90s in Dorchester, Mass, and actually started with two families, so the Callahans and the Cheneys, and it was during the Rodney King riots where there was peak racial tension happening in Boston. So they really wanted to come together and think about, how do we bring youth from diverse backgrounds to talk to each other, to really understand, why the tensions are happening, how do we build relationships, and then also how are we thinking about addressing the food insecurity issues that are happening within that community at the time. So it started in a small church, and we started bridging relationships from urban and suburban youth members to learn with each other, to grow and build deeper relationships, and then do meaningful work as well. We came to North Shore about 11 years ago in 2005. So now we are, in Dorchester, in Lincoln, and then Wenham and Lynn as well. And we are working with almost 120 youth every season. Wow. And then also doing a lot of work when you're thinking about the intersections of youth, food, and community.
So look at you now. You've certainly grown since the first two families. Yeah. And you were saying, what you sent me was, your three focuses are food, youth, and community. That's how you intertwine them all. Mm-hmm. And Rachel, your focus is more the food and community aspect of it. Did you want to talk about that a little bit?
Sure, I can talk a little bit about our food distribution and what food looks like here in Lynn. Yeah. So we have a small urban farm by Ingalls Elementary School, which we've had since we've come here. And then we also have a small farm and also space for community gardeners over on Neptune Boulevard, kind of near the YMCA and near Lynn Vocational Tech Institute. Mm-hmm. So we have a couple spaces here where we're growing in Lynn, and then we're also thinking about where does that food go, mm-hmm. and who's getting access to that food, also thinking about who's getting access to space to grow their food here. So we have the Central Square Farmers Market on 20 Exchange Street, mm-hmm. and we have our food distribution there, but we also have other amazing farms that are coming from across the state. We have Farmer Dave's, we have Paula's Produce, and Riverdale Farm that are there. We have been there for a very long time. Do you remember when we started working there?
Yeah, they were with us when we first started back in 2005, so they've been with us this entire time.
Yeah, it's a really popular market. We're trying to make it more of a community hub. We're having people there that are accepting all forms of payment, from WIC coupons, senior coupons. We all accept SNAP and HIP, in addition to cash and credit cards. And then outside of that, for folks who can't come to that market, we do a mobile market at 6 different sites in the city. Wow. So we'll be doing that across the city. You can check on our website for information about that. Anything else
Yeah, and we donate food as well. So a lot of the produce that we grow at Lynn Ingalls Elementary School is being donated to the community fridge, the New Lynn Coalition food deliveries, and then also it's going to My Brother's Table as well, in addition to other different neighboring organizations.
Yeah, we do some partnership with GLIS here. We also do some partnership with the New Lynn Coalition, just trying to think of working together with other partners and stakeholders in Lynn of getting more access to fresh, affordable food.
That's what you said, the community aspect of it, because you work with so many other organizations, so many other people, and it's all, you see how much of it's really connected to each other. Mm-hmm. And even looking at your website, you distributed like millions of pounds of food, I think it was.
Yeah,
it's a big number.
Yeah, I mean, it's really thinking about, how do we address the food insecurity issues that are happening right now and do emergency food relief? And then also, how are we thinking about sustainability beyond emergency food relief? So that's where the community gardens come into play, and thinking about how do we leverage some of the resources we have to create a space, and with the partnerships that we've been privileged to have, to think about how do we, protect spaces so people can grow culturally relevant food. And how do we do that? I think the Food Project's success has been because of our relationships and because of the partnerships we have. Without those, we're not able to be where we are right now. So I think we've been able to do a lot of that work to address this larger food insecurity issue and be able to distribute so many food.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I know another huge piece of you is youth, getting youth involved, younger people. You have multiple programs for it.
Yeah.
I like the name, the Seed, Dirt, and Root Crews. I like that. But what does that actually mean? Like, what do those groups do?
Yeah, that's a great question. So our youth are the future, right? It sounds very cliche to say, but that's really what it is, right? We want to create a space for opportunity for them to learn skills and think about those skills and applications to their passions and be able to put that in their career trajectory. So we have 3 levels of programs with our young people. We have a Seed Crew, which is an introductory level program where our young people join us for 6 weeks during the summer, and we're working on urban and suburban farms, growing food, building relationships. And then beyond that, they can be able to work with us during the academic year to learn about leadership and public speaking and thinking about how they can take all their learning and apply it into their communities that they're a part of. And then that's Dirt Crew. And then the 3rd level of program is when they take all of those leadership, all of that learning, and then put that into practice. They're doing community engagement. They're hosting events. They are, being on panels. They're really thinking like, what does it mean to be an agent of change? How do I take what I'm learning and apply it to make changes within the various communities all of our young people are coming from? And all of our youth programs are paid opportunities. So youth are getting financial security, learning about employment. So it's more of a multifaceted approach, right? It's like meaningful work, financial stability, and then also thinking about how do we bridge relationships across difference.
I mean, you're called the Food Project, but you do not stop at food.
No.
You
Food
really
is
keep going.
Yeah, food is a vehicle of conversation, right? So it's like, how do you use that conversation to really spark change? And I think diversity is so important and it's so needed. And as long as we're able to sit around the table and have conversation, have healthy dialogue and conflict, like why not? Why not do that and share a meal at the same time? So I think our whole mission is centered around bridging relationships and elevating a level of trust, and then also using all of the assets that we have to make changes in so many different ways.
Definitely. And I remember you said as well that you started as a farmer and kind of moved up. So you're an example of somebody who's gone through a bit of the program.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed transitioning from for-profit farming into nonprofit farming and kind of being more involved in community and also working with the amazing youth that we have. And I really love that the youth aren't just part of that program, but they're also helping us with the food aspect of working on the farms, and they're also helping us in the community. They're at the farmers market. They're helping us run the farmers market. They help run CSA programs and other things. So they're very, very involved in all the work we're doing.
Like I said, it's such amazing work, and I think even someone else said to me, you're teaching them so much, but they also have so much to show and teach as well. Like it's really both ways.
Exactly. Exactly.
And I'll ask one thing too, because you mentioned 2 different websites as well, like the foodproject.org is more general, and then you also have Lynn Grows, which is a little more specific to here. Yes?
Yes.
Yeah, so Lynn Grows is our community engagement model. So that's kind of the space where we're inviting Lynn residents to come and be a part of Lynn Grows, to share their voice with us, share what they'd like to see happen in the food system. And that could be about small businesses, corner stores, bodegas, about creating more resources for community gardeners, for thinking about what the food looks like in our school system here in Lynn, about food education and nutrition information here. So that's kind of creating a space for anybody who's interested in that kind of work to come join us at Lynn Grows and have a space where your voice is heard and we can kind of collaborate and work together on how we can make a difference in our food system. So that's where you can find that information is on lynngrows.org. We're also pretty active on Facebook and Instagram. So I think we'll have that information shared by you guys. And that's where you can kind of see all the information about the farmers markets, about community events, about other things that are happening at Lynn Grows.
And just to add on to it, I think Lynn Grows is really nice because the Food Project has this unique opportunity to try different avenues of model tests with people, right? So if folks are interested in going into ag business or looking to, think about different ways to utilize food, they're able to model test that with us at no risk for us, right? So really thinking about how do we protect folks financially to think about and dream about what they want to do, and then pilot that with us, and then figure out what works, what doesn't, and then take that and continue on. So Lynn Grows really helps us work with residents to really understand what the need is and where folks are passionate about, and how can we utilize the resources we have to support that work.
Which is a great way to do it, because in no place, no person is it ever going to be the same.
Exactly.
It's not really a one-size-fits-all, and you give them an amazing opportunity to try that.
Exactly.
So I realized I probably should have asked this when we first started, but how long have you both been involved with the food project?
Yeah, I've been involved for almost 10 years. I started as a youth in the program, actually, so I'm a recipient of positive, youth and adult partnerships, and really enjoyed my time with the organization, and ended up, participating in various seasonal and staff roles, and to where I am right now. So really been fully connected with the work, because I've seen the impacts of it. My family and I migrated to Lynn about 23 years ago. So coming to Lynn and not really kind of knowing what this new place is, a food project, gave me a sense of belonging, and really thinking about how do I make an impact in the community that is now my home, right? So it's been really a beautiful experience being involved so far.
Great.
And I've started with the food project again as a farmer, so that was about 4 or 5 years ago. And then transitioned into my role as a community programs manager at the start of last year. And I've really enjoyed just connecting with more people in the city that I live in, and finding more ways to collaborate and build partnerships. I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, you both, and the entire organization has done such an amazing job with it. And I said I could talk about this all day with you, because there's just so much information. But I know we have to wrap up in a minute. So is there anything that you wanted to mention that I just hadn't hit upon?
Yeah, we really just want to share that, we're here for the community. We're really cognizant about creating more growing spaces. We're really thinking about, using Lynn Grows as a way for people to come together. We do have a new kind of event that we're starting as a summer series for residents to come join us on community gardens here in Lynn, and join us in beautifying that garden, get your hands in the soil, enjoy the summer and the beauty of farming. So that's going to start on July 29th, I believe. Again, you can check that on our website.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, and I think definitely want to invite anyone to come to our farms and be able to use that space. Typically, we're on our farms with different community spaces, so email is a great way to reach out to us. On our website, and list all of the staff emails and different roles that people have. So really, want to encourage folks to reach out if they're interested in volunteering or, just engaging with us in whatever way feels good for folks.
Great. That sounds fantastic. And I want to thank you both again for coming on to speak about it. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Great. Anytime. And once again, I'm Danny Vittori. This has been the Lynn Lowdown, and we'll see you next week with more guests.